Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So of course you can tell by the title what I'm going to be talking about today, and a couple of topics that are really irking my nerves right now, that I really need to just like get off of my chest. And maybe some of you nail techs or aspiring nail techs can use this as like advice, or you can relate to it. But like there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with this COVID stuff. There's some things that need to be discussed and talked about. So setup, I'm not in the same setup that I'm usually in, but that's besides the point. So first thing that I really want to talk about is being a mobile nail tech in Illinois. Being a mobile nail tech, may be different depending on your city, your state, whatever you're doing. As a mobile nail tech in your city and your state may be different than here, but I'm going to just talk about my experience being a mobile nail tech. Everybody's experience is different. So being a mobile nail tech, I service Chicago and Chicago suburbs, a lot of them. But it's getting to the point now where it's like I will have like clients from where I'm stationed at that'll be like an hour away, and then I'll have another client that's like from their location to that place, to that client's house, it'll be like 2 hours in between. And I'm like, you know what, it's starting to get to a point where I might have to limit myself to certain areas, because like I said before in a previous video, one of the reasons why I really liked living here and I came back here is because there's so many people that live here. It's condensed. There's so many people that live here, and there's so many different little towns compared to Las Vegas, where you're just in a little teeny tiny town and there aren't really surrounding towns like 30 minutes out. There's not like, I mean, it's Pahrump and things like that, but there's not like other towns, like, you know how you got LA and then you go 30 minutes out, there's like, I don't know, Cucamonga or whatever. You see what I'm talking about? Like, it's kind of like that in Illinois. So what I'm noticing is I'm getting so many different people in different areas, and it's getting kind of hard for me to get to like one person, then get to another. And like, yes, I am making the money, but it's like I could be making more money. I could be servicing more people if I was in a stationary area and maybe provide mobile services like maybe 2 days out of the week. But with everything going on in the world, it's like I'm very hesitant to do that, like business wise, because 1 minute we're phase 1 and then the next we're phase 4 and then we're shut down again. So like just like business decisions right now, drastic ones, cannot be made due to like financial reasons. I don't want to lose out on any money doing that, but I'm also seeing like I'm like stretching myself thin out here. Like I'm traveling so much, like I'm in the car so much. Like my arm, you guys can't tell it because I have really good lighting in here, but I have the worst tan right now because I'm in the car so much, driving from client to client to client. And I'm starting to realize, like, you know what, maybe either I'm going to just say, hey, I'm servicing this area on this day, this area on this day, and just keep it at that so that I don't have too many people that I have to service. But at the moment, it's kind of spread out everywhere. I don't have too much of a condensed clientele except in Chicago. So that's where I'm really looking at getting a suite at in Chicago instead of where I am up here, because all of my clientele seem to be in the actual city. So I'll move my suite here to a place downtown Chicago once I do start opening them back up, because the suites out here where I stay in a suburb. The suburb that I stay in, the suites and the nail salons and the hair salons and things like that are open, but in certain business buildings and things like that, nail salons and things like that in Chicago, there's certain areas where they're not open. I'm not sure exactly why, but I've just noticed in the suburb that I particularly live in, salons are open. So I really want to move my suite. I really want to open it back up, but I'm just really nervous because with everything going on, and then people, you know, suing salons and nail techs and hairstylists and saying, hey, you gave me COVID and things like that. I don't want to have to deal with that. I just don't, it's just a lot to deal with. I mean, how I'm dealing with it right now, sanitation, licensed nail techs, this is our time to shine, because this is like what was on our exams. This is what they trained us for, was sanitation. And they're noticing nail salons are being the culprit of COVID. And a lot of these nail salons have a lot of nail techs that aren't licensed, and if they were, they would know sanitation. But that's none of my business. But we're noticing that, you know, a lot of nail salons, especially in California, are starting to have to close down, and it's because of sanitation reasons. And I'm not saying that me personally, like, oh, I'm worried about sanitation, because I know sanitation, not to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot this bitch, but I know sanitation, but still, it's just the risk. I have younger siblings that I'm around all the time. I'm around my parents all the time, around my grandmother, I'm around family. Like, my family lives here, so it's gonna be very difficult for me to, for one, open it back up, and two, I need to move my location from the suburb that I'm living in to Chicago. I think that's where I want to be at. It's a big city, everybody goes to Chicago, everybody can get to Chicago, instead of like these little towns that a lot of us live in. So that's what I'm going to be looking into. But at the moment though, mobile is just what I've been doing since I don't really want to have a stationary place just yet. I'm just treading lightly, being very cautious with everything that I'm doing. But I'm just noticing, like, being mobile, I'm getting so many people all over the place. But I think I'm going to just get to a point where if I notice I'm getting a certain amount of clientele, I'm just going to just service like just Chicago. And that's what it's coming to. It's like, I'm in Chicago all the time. I'm thinking I'm going to just have to move and have a stationary place in Chicago, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm familiar with the city. I'm always in the city anyways with clients and family. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Once all of this is over, I will have a stationary place in the city instead of the suburbs, so then more people will be able to get to me and be able to get their nails done. And then also people that travel, you know, people come to Chicago all the time, they'll be able to come see me in the city. So definitely going to be looking more so into that. Definitely be making more steps to pushing towards moving to the city once things start getting settled, and we're not going from like phase 1 to like phase 3 and back again and things like that. So that's how I'm feeling about being a mobile nail tech. I'm going to have a stationary place, and I'm going to limit my days. I'll probably shorten them, maybe have like 2 days that are available to clientele for mobile services, and then just have my stationary day. That's just what I'm coming to, because there's just so many people, there's just too many people all over the place that I service, and I could service more of you guys if I'm in a place, like a stationary place. And it'll also save everybody money, because travel fees and things like that, people want me to come to like DeKalb, Illinois, and I'm all the way like northern suburbs. I'm like 20 minutes from Gurnee, Illinois. That's where like Magic Mountain, sorry, I'm so West Coast. Six Flags. I'm like 20 minutes from Six Flags. So going from there all the way to DeKalb, it's like almost like 2-hour drive, and I do that type of thing. So things are gonna change, but right now I am sticking to mobile because I mean things are steady. I have clientele. I'm gonna stick with what works. But once things get settled down, I'm definitely gonna have a stationary place where everybody can travel to come to me, get their nails done, and it'd be just, I feel like it would be easier, not just on myself, but for everybody. And that I'm here for easier. So that's what I plan on doing. So I want to talk about some things that, I don't know, maybe it's just me as a nail tech. I'm a newbie still. Like, a lot of people do look up to me, but guys, I'm a newbie. I've only been a licensed nail tech for a year with no previous experience at all, no additional art classes. Like, I went to nail tech school, graduated last May, and I've been working ever since. So I'm a newbie, just like everybody else. So a lot of things that I'm experiencing is for the first time, and I'm learning, trial and error. And one thing that I do have to keep telling myself is that it's okay if you mess up. Like, if you handle a situation wrong, you'll learn from it, and then you'll be able to experience it with somebody else. But you also do have to keep in mind, you are starting a reputation. People talk. That's all I'm gonna say. People talk. People talk, clients talk. So keep it professional at all times, but there are gonna be times where you make a wrong mistake, say the wrong things like that. One issue that I'm dealing with here, compared to Las Vegas and on the West Coast, the girls on the the clients on the West Coast, they about their nails. Not saying the girls out here aren't about their nails either, but when it comes to designs and the extraness, Atlanta, Detroit, Texas, LA, Vegas, I'm sure Portland, there's other places that have that do like all the crazy designs that I personally do too, but these are like the main places that do artwork like this. So coming out here and people not knowing that type of artwork, they don't really know price range. A lot of them are used to going to the salons, getting their nails done within like 45 minutes to an hour, getting just a color, maybe a couple glitters, maybe an ombre, maybe a Frenchie, but never like anything like super extravagant. So they're not used to the pricing and things like that. A lot of them are, a lot of them aren't. But starting off, I noticed, coming out here, I did have a booking site, and when I am doing my mobile appointments, this is one thing that I have to really pay attention to, are how long my appointments are, so I can still book other appointments and still have my travel time and still be able to make it on time to other people. Because having to travel from one person to another, you have that travel time, and then you also need to give yourself leeway in case you need to stop, you need to use the bathroom, you need to get food, you need to get gas, there's traffic, you have to factor in those things as well. So when it comes to mobile appointments, me personally, I like to know what my client is getting down to like every nail. Like, if they want something specific on like every single nail, then that's what I want to have done. That was weird, my door just opened. Hold on a second. Okay, so anyways, when I am doing my mobile services and I'm going to my mobile appointments, I like to bring everything that I need for that appointment and nothing extra, because I like to pack light. I don't want to be hauling around my travel cart and then my table and then my bag for my sanitation and things like that. Like, that's hauling a lot of stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't know about you guys. I personally don't want to do that. So I like to know exactly what my client wants to get on their nails. Like, what your length that you want to get. Okay, cool. What you want on this nail? You want these type of rhinestones? Like, get these type of rhinestones, because I have a ton of rhinestones. Let me go grab all of those rhinestones. Let me grab all of these acrylic colors that you want on your nails. So when I come, I have all that stuff and I don't have any extra taking up extra space or anything like that. So a lot of the times, one thing that I've noticed is like people don't really know what they don't know what they want to get done, or what they're asking for isn't like in their price range. which doesn't happen often. Like I do have a lot of clientele. This happens like a bad cherry in a batch, okay? Like this isn't often, but I noticed this. But it's like, I saw this Instagram post and someone said it like, you guys are looking at nails on Instagram, right? You're looking at my nails and like, oh my gosh, Trippy Red nails, Erykah Badu nails, Tyler the Creator, Travis Scott, Myler glitter unicorn nails. Like these sets take like 2-3 plus hours, sometimes more. Like my freehand paintings, like those Tyler the Creator nails, like those take time, and time is money. Like it takes time to do this type of artwork and things like that. People, for one, the average person can't do it. I mean, unless they have like a stencil or something like that. But I personally don't use a stencil. I personally painted freehand on nails. So it kind of, my pricing sometimes throws people off. And I send them my booking, my prices and my policies when they do text me to book, and then they ask, you know, why is it going to cost this much, or like that's really expensive, like $120 for nails. Like, yeah, you're asking for long unicorn nails, and unicorn nails I use about 20 different glitters, milers, chrome powders, holographic flakes, colored acrylic, like, and it takes maybe, depending on like how detailed you want it, how much you want, like how long you want your nails, it can take maybe 2.5-3 hours, sometimes longer on those sets. So yes, $120 and I'm sitting on your nails for 3 hours. Of course, like you sit and get your hair done, like you sit and get your hair done. You sit and get your hair done for hours, but you want these extra long nails and you're not willing to sit and get this stuff. Like you want them, they're cute, right? You want them, they're cute. They're gonna cost the same, just like getting your hair done. Yeah, they're not gonna last as long as getting your hair done because they're nails and your nails grow. But if that's the style that you want, that's the style that you want. And that's how much it's going to cost. And that's how much it's going to cost with me. Another thing that I have been noticing also, like I said, it hasn't happened often because I have changed the way that I do my booking. I don't just jump and say, hey, like, what would you like to have done? Like, no, I say, introduce myself, I tell them my name and things like that. Ask them what they're looking for, and I also have either me or my assistant will send my price list and my policy so they can just get an idea of like, okay, her colored acrylics start at $60. I use colored acrylic, guys. I don't use gel, so I use colored acrylic for everything. I personally don't like to use gel, so that's one of the perks, because if you were to just get a regular set and then got gel, and people usually charge $10 for gel and full sets start at like $45 for me, that's $55 with gel, $60 colored acrylic, and like you don't have to have no chip. Okay, that's a whole nother thing, but anyways, I send that to them so that they can get an idea of, okay, she starts off with $60 for colored acrylic. Now I do have some options on my price list for certain styles and things that people like typically like to get. Like for instance, my unicorn nails. A lot of people like getting those. A lot of people like to get my Fruit Loop nails. A lot of people like the jade nails. So for those certain styles, since I've gotten to a point where I can do them like really fast and efficiently, I brought the price down on those styles because I do them so often. They're faster. I know exactly what I'm doing for them. They don't take as much time. So those have a certain price. And then I have like my add-ons, things like that, then my policies, and then my FAQs, things like that. So I let people know, and about 8 times out of 10, people will text back and be like, okay, yeah, I don't care about the price, whatever. Like, I see your artwork. It matches, your price matches your artwork. I don't have a problem. But what I've noticed, like here compared to in Vegas, people in Vegas like know, like, hey, I want 2 nails, glitter, pink glitter, that chunky glitter that's on your third picture on your Instagram, and then I want in a stiletto, then I want a unicorn with that Mylar #5 that you have right there in that 6 post. Like, people, you have those type of people, and then you'd be like, oh, I just want some pink glitter nails with rhinestones. Okay, like, how many fingers do you want glitter? How many rhinestones? Do you want a full nail with rhinestones? Do you want just the cuticles? Like, do you want chunky glitter? Do you want fine glitter? Like, what type of glitter? Because like I said, I'm mobile. I don't want to haul around all of this stuff. I want to know exactly what you want, so when I come to your appointment, I have exactly what you want, instead of all this extra stuff that you may not want at all. It makes sense. But since I'm not in a stationary place, now if I was in a stationary place, I wouldn't even have to ask all of this. Personally, what I would do is I would just block off my times for certain designs for booking, and then I would just do it like that. But since I'm mobile, I have to calculate travel time, setup time. When I get to their home, get to their house, I have to do my setup time as well, my prepping, my sanitation, all of that stuff I have to do. I have to calculate all of that time. Like, I'm really on a tight schedule when I'm mobile. But if I was stationary, like I used to be, it would be a lot easier for me to sterilize. It'd be easier for me to clean because I'm in one place, in and out. It would be so much easier. But since I'm not doing that at the moment, it's a lot harder. So booking is a lot harder right now as a mobile nail tech, because it's like, I, for one, live very far, so a lot of people don't want to come to a suite that's all the way outside of Chicago. Depending on where you are, the drive can be an hour and 45 minutes from Chicago, depending on where you are in Chicago. So it's very tedious right now, being a mobile nail tech and dealing with clientele and dealing with like trying to get my pricing, getting people to like understand the pricing, and understanding like I personally need to know what they're looking for in their sets. I even give them the option to like just book certain time. You can book me for time, like, oh, I want to book you for 4 hours. You can do that option with me. I have that in one of my policies. Not on my policies, on my price list. I have that option to people, specifically for my mobile clientele. I do have some clients that actually do use my hourly fee instead, and they save a boatload because I only charge about $30. I only charge about $30. Currently at the moment, as I'm recording this video, I charge only $30 an hour. So if it takes me an hour to lay acrylic and it's colored acrylic, you just got it for half off. So that's one of the options that I give to a lot of my clients, and a lot of them have caught on, and they're able to get more expensive sets and things like that. But some of them don't really understand and don't read policies and don't read booking pricing and things like that to see what their options are. And if people did that, booking would be so much easier as a mobile nail tech. But it's just trial and error right now. Like I said, with everything going on, I literally had to convert from being in a salon setting to now being mobile, and I'm moving everything that I would have in a salon in my car and going to clients and things like that. So completely had to transition. I won't say difficult, but things are a lot different. That's all it is. Things are different. It's trial and error. I've been working on a lot of things. Since I have been working a little bit more since Illinois did just open back up, I have been working a lot more with clients since I've been able to take clients. So I had to put my website a little bit on the back burner, but I am able to now, since I'm not taking as many clients, I'm starting to get a good like flow for things. I'm giving myself time That's one thing that I did not do for myself. You can clearly see like the bags and stuff under my eyes. I've not been giving myself enough time to sleep. That's one thing that I had to change with working, so I can give myself time to work on my YouTube stuff, my website, my business, and then also still being a nail tech, and then also having my personal life, spending time with friends and family and things like that. But I have more items that I will be posting on my website. It is called drippyartworld.com. You can check that out. I have some videos on there for you guys to watch for demo videos. I said in a previous video that I was converting my YouTube and my website to two separate entities, where YouTube is more like for reviews, more for people that are like beginners and things like that, that are kind of interested into nails but aren't really into it to the point where they want to put in financially yet into nails. So that's what I converted my YouTube to. And then I have my website, which is Drippy Art World, where I have art supplies on there. I have some demo videos where you can learn my techniques that I personally use, and they're walkthrough videos, they're demo videos. They're a lot different than the videos here on my YouTube channel. They're very detailed. I give you guys PDF files on those videos that I have on my website. They range from about $20, about $5 to $20, that you get to watch a limited amount of times for 14 days. So you're able to purchase that. There are some other videos that you are able to purchase that you can have for a limited amount of times that you can watch on my website as well. Like I said, I have some art supplies on there. I do have a couple of press-on nails. I haven't really sold too many press-on nails that are listed on my actual website. I've been getting a lot of custom orders instead, so I haven't really been putting them on my website, but I will be putting some of my glitter acrylic mixes on my website, because I've been getting a lot of requests on my Instagram regarding my acrylic mixes. So I'm going to be putting that on my website as well in the near future. There's a lot of things that I have to think about. And one thing I will say, a pro about what's going on with this whole influenza, COVID-19, all that stuff, one thing that I will say is that I am happy that I'm able to take the time to sit down and actually give myself a roadmap as to where I want to go with my career. Because I will say, when I first moved here, all I was thinking about, like, okay, I'm just gonna work. But now I'm thinking, okay, I can do this and I can do that, and I can expand past nails. Like, I'm artistic. I like to paint. I like to draw. I love music as well. I know how to play a couple of instruments. I've been playing since I was a child. Like, I'm looking at different avenues that I can go into. So I will say that is a pro right now, is that since everything is slowed down, I am able to focus a little bit more on myself and my skill, practice a lot more. So once things do open, I can hit the ground running. And I advise everybody that's even watching this video, if you're just watching me just as background noise, just listen and hear this out from me. You know, this is a great opportunity to work on yourself and work on your skill right now. You know, a lot of people are out of work. You could be focusing and seeing how, once you do go back to work, if you do plan on going back to work, if you do have a job, a lot of people are going to be out of work, but this is the time to figure out what you want to do career-wise, what you want to do business-wise, what you want to do as an individual, what you want to do as a person as well. So, you know, definitely take this time as an opportunity to focus on what you want to do with your life and where you want to be. I think that everybody always says, like, I need a chance. Like, everybody has different, everybody's path is different, right? Some people say, like, oh, I never have the time or the opportunity to focus on, like, starting a business. Everybody's in the house right now. Everybody literally has the same 24 hours. A lot of us, except for essential workers. Thank you for you guys. But a lot of us are at home some of us on unemployment, a lot of us aren't, but some of us on unemployment, you guys are sitting at home doing nothing. You talk about how you want to start your business, how you want to be a badass nail tech, how you want to be a badass lash tech, how you want to do hair. Take the time right now to look into those avenues and make a move. Don't just sit. Like, everybody says they need time. You got time. Everybody has time. You're sitting here watching me. You got time. Like, click off this video and go do something. Like, everybody has the same amount of time to do something, especially right now. So that's one thing I will give advice wise. I don't typically give people advice, but that's one thing I will say. Right now is a great opportunity to focus on your skill, whatever your skill may be. Focus on it. Do your research, so then once this world really does open back up, you'll hit the ground running. Like, start, if your business can survive right now with everything going on, imagine your business once all of this is over and everything is back to normal. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. But take care, guys. Definitely stay safe out here. Your life is more important than a set of nails, just a reminder. And if you are gonna get your nails done, definitely stay safe.